Ramadan, the strict dry fasting, no food or drink from dawn to sunset, presents challenges related to dehydration, energy levels, and digestive issues, requiring mindful planning and healthy choices for both pre-dawn and post-sunset meal. Dehydration is one of the most common challenges during the Ramadan fast, particularly for individuals who are physically active like athletes or those with hypertension. Breastfeeding mothers also experience this regularly, so it is important to have adequate hydration to maintain the breast milk supply. Hello and welcome to another episode, and welcome to Lunch Global Ramadan Special. And today we'll be looking at some common challenges related to food and fasting during Ramadan, along with strategies to overcome those challenges. I am Chunk Anamel Joseph, but before we continue for the day, let's quickly go on a break. We will return shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the short break, and if you're just catching up with us today, welcome to Lunch Global Ramadan Special. We know that it's already, the 21 days, already 21 day of the, 31 days of the fast at the moment, and it has been a journey. We know that the Ramadan has to do with, prayer, supplication, helping, reflection, and so many other benefits when it comes to the spiritual, the mental, the health benefit, and including the physical benefit. Ramadan has it all. It helps you maintain good health. It helps you, it helps regulate all the toxins or cleansing, from the spiritual aspect, the physical aspect, and of course the mental aspect of our health and well-being. Now, when it comes to some of these challenges of food, during the fasting, there are a lot of challenges. Our bodies react to issues differently. The way my body will react to certain things, it might not be necessarily the same when it's happening to another person. When it comes to the hydration issue, which is going to be the first thing we're going to be looking out for, a lot of times we encourage ourselves, and then we get to people encourage us, including medical personnel, will tell you that drinking water is very important. Your body needs to be hydrated all the time. Make sure that you don't stay dehydrated. Now, there are days that sometimes we tend to feel ill and we think, oh, maybe we're sick, maybe we're really feeling that, but not knowing that what is causing us that feeling, that weakness, that challenge we tend to face is dehydration. Now, hydration is very important, but at the same time, I don't know if you have experienced this, but I have. Sometimes when there's so much, dehydration in your body, or you've not had any fluid in your body for like a long period of time, you realize, or even if when you stay so hungry, you realize that the moment you take water, your body system, you tend to start having a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of stomach ache. During this fasting is one of the challenges, because imagine you stayed a whole, like a 24-hour without food, like the whole day without food, and then the first thing that's supposed to go into your belly is, water, or some dates and water. But then sometimes when you drink this water, you tend to have a little bit of, stomach upset or stomach pain in a kind of way. That is because, you stay dehydrated, or you're dehydrated, or better still, because you have stayed hungry. And that is why it's very important that during suhoor, you tend to eat healthy. You eat more of protein. You eat more of like a complex carbohydrate, not simple carbohydrate. You eat foods that are sustaining. Now, for the hydration issues, we tend to notice that after a long day of fasting, many people tend to drink excessive amounts of water quickly, which can lead to discomfort or gastrointestinal issues. Moreover, dehydration can affect energy level throughout the day. So if you are breaking your fast, what you need to do, you drink the water, bit by bit. If you're taking like maybe a 50 cl, you can decide to do 25 cl and then 25 cl. Now it helps balance, that discomfort. It helps you feel, more energetic, because you've literally stayed without drinking water for quite a number of time, and there is not a lot of people don't get to eat suhoor very well. Now if you eat well, if you eat very good food, and you're taking fruit and good fruits and good vegetables for your suhoor, now you tend to see the difference. And if you've not tried this particular way of eating, you can try it, and then you get to see the difference. Now imagine taking watermelon, imagine drinking lots of water, imagine eating maybe carrot juice, or just all of these fruits that have high concentration of H2O and all of that. You tend to see a lot more difference when it comes to your body reaction. Now you need to also focus for the solution. You need to focus on gradual hydration, just as I mentioned. Just drink your water bit by bit, whatever, even the amount of food you eat portion sizes. You have to eat with portion control. You don't just eat everything at the same time, or just because there's like a heap of food and you want to finish everything because you're like, oh, I stayed hungry and I'm just in a hurry to eat. Aim to drink small amounts of frequently during the non-fasting hours, prioritizing water over sugary or caffeinated drinks. You have to also incorporate hydrating food into your suhoor. That's a pre-dawn meal, and of course iftar meal, which is your breakfast, like fruits, just as I mentioned, watermelon, cucumbers, and soup. Now if you do all of that during your suhoor period, you tend to see that when it comes to the pre-dawn, which is the iftar, you don't have so much discomfort, because you've eaten properly and you've eaten the right meal during suhoor. And another thing, again, one of the challenges that are faced during this Ramadan period is energy dips throughout the day. Imagine, we know that if you don't eat, you don't drink water, of course we don't expect it to be energetic, but there are still people, don't forget, there are people who even during this fast, they still try to go to the gym, they still try to do exercises. Now whether you are fasting or you're not fasting, exercises are very important. You need to your body needs to be active. Now you don't have to go to the to the gym, carry weight lift, carry this, or do tedious exercises. You can decide to take a stroll, take a walk, do some body stretches in the morning, do some jumping jacks and all of that. So all of these things will help activate your energy. So as your body adapts to fasting, the initial few days may see a drop in energy levels. To accommodate this, include general activities into your day. A few minutes of stretches, a short walk, or something simple like breathing exercises can help rejuvenate and refresh you. So one of the challenges you also tend to get is there's so much fatigue, lack of energy before iftar. It's like you can't wait, and that diverts your attention, your concentration to the actual aim of the Ramadan. Many individuals experience fatigue or lack of energy prior to iftar, which can affect productivity, affect your prayer, affect your concentration, and of course affect your mood. So once you're not in a bad mood, you know that it's almost very difficult for you to pray. There are moments that when you are not just in it, your mood is not there, you are not active, your brain is not even thinking, your body cells are weak, you know that definitely you feel sick. And there's no sick person that gives things like the only thing you are concerned about is being healthy. So at this point, the only thing that you're going to be concerned about is you're just waiting for you're just waiting for time that they will call for prayers so that you will just break your fast. Now for the solution, you need to ensure your suhoor is balanced. Now containing complex carbohydrates, just as I mentioned earlier, whole grains, protein like eggs and yogurt, and healthy fats, which are avocados and nuts. This helps sustain energy level throughout the day. You can take a short break to stretch or take brief walk to keep your energy up. And another challenge again is overeating at iftar, which I think I've mentioned about it. You get to see food just because you stayed all through the day without eating. You want to eat everything on your table. You want to eat all the dishes. You want to portion control is very important. If you notice, most of the time when you eat late before going to bed and you eat so much, you will wake up very hungry as if you didn't eat, and then you start asking yourself, but I just ate a lot of food before going to bed and now I'm feeling this or now I'm feeling that. Now, because you're not exercising, because you didn't do anything, those food will just convert automatically to fat, and fats, those kind of fats do not have, you don't even need them, they don't even have use in your body, like they are like waste products. That is what those fats stand for. So they just accumulate, they give you unnecessary discomfort and all of that. So if you're eating your iftar, you have to learn to do portion control. Just eat bit by bit. You have a long time before you can continue your fast for the day. So at the end of the day, just try and eat bit by bit. You eat, you drink water, you eat, you drink water, eat the right fruit, eat the right vegetables, and that will help. After a day of fasting, the temptation to indulge in large portions of unhealthy food can lead to overeating and digestive discomfort. So for the solution, you need to practice moderation by initiating breaking your fast with dates and water, then waiting a little before consuming a large meal. Your portion is very important, so portion your food and prioritize nutritious options such as lean protein, whole grains, and vegetable. You also have to listen to your body. Now, listening to our body is something we don't learn. Let me not say we don't learn, but we're not intentional about it at all. We just eat, even when our body is telling you, even when your body is telling you no. You're telling your body, no, I need it. You don't know better than me, but this is our body telling us that I am okay. This food that is going into my body is not accepting it. I am not accepting it. Your body is not in sync to what you're eating. Now, when you have those kind of feelings, we have to, by all means possible, stop it. Now, you can decide to stop that particular thing you're eating and get to listen to your body. Then try something else and see which one works for you. But if you don't listen to your body, that's where problems start from. Now, you can eat and start maybe puking, or you can eat and you can eat and then have diarrhea at the end of the day. So nobody wants that. Nobody wants a situation whereby you're supposed to be focused, you're supposed to be praying, you're supposed to be meditating, and then at the end of the day you find yourself in the hospital. We don't wish for that. So you have to always listen to your body. It's okay to eat slowly and stop when you're satisfied. Do not overeat. Don't forget, they said too much of everything is bad, and too much of eating food even when you're full is a sin. So you have to try your possible best to eat less. Portion sizes, very important. You can eat now, you can feel hungry later and come back, or when you eat, even when you don't feel hungry, when the food has digested a little bit and you're craving something else, you can always go for it. Now, another thing is also social pressure. We know that, especially when it comes to social media, our phones, sometimes we want to go out, maybe they'll invite you for an event, invite you for a naming ceremony, invite you for a wedding, invite you for so many activities, and then you might be tempted. You never can tell. We're human beings, our bodies react to things, we can't help it. So imagine you're fasting and then in an office basically, or your colleagues are maybe snacking on something you love, or maybe your favorite snack. Sometimes it's so tempting, and that's why it is important for people to also relate, understand people. You don't have to always show yourself around them when you know that, this person is fasting, and then you just want to eat everything in their presence. And if you notice, most of the time for someone who is fasting, let me say for the Muslims, anytime in a space when there's so much food, some of them will just respectfully exit that spot, because I know that I am fasting, I feel this way at the moment, but then to help myself not to even think of food and focus on God and what I'm meditating on, they will just have to exit this. So if you're someone who can easily go into that, maybe social pressure can easily affect you, then you have to try your best to exit certain activity when they come up, or when you know that when you go to an event you cannot control yourself, then it's better you don't go. Keep yourself sane. It's not like we're saying do not socialize. No, you should. It's a moment to even socialize. It's a moment to pray, love up each other. If you don't socialize, you can't even love. Will you sit down in your room, close your doors and not love? No, you still go to work, you still go to the market, you still visit family and friends and all of that. But advisably, they will say, just wait. After you break your fast, you can. That's why it's important. You tend to see people getting to break their fast with their loved ones. Family, friends. Families coming together, cousins coming together, siblings coming together. Sit down and then enjoy that moment together. Now, during Ramadan, social pressure can manifest as expectations to host gatherings, participate in events, or conform to certain Islamic behaviors, potentially leading to stress and burnout for some individuals. Now, for the challenges, family and friends may have differing views on food choices, and social gatherings can sometimes turn into feasts that challenge personal dietary goals. So for the solution, you should communicate your goals and preferences with those around you. Suggest healthy dishes for communal meals, or bring your own dishes that align with your dietary needs. Offer to help prepare food, allowing you to control ingredients and portion sizes. So when it comes to watching out your weight, if you're like a diabetes patient, you can't just eat everything. It depends on your health as well. So if you're someone who is dieting, or you are on keto, or you're trying to build your muscles, food differs, meal plan differs. So when you're having such events during this season, you have to also consider other people. Now, if you're inviting people to come and eat together, share together, and you don't have the finances to make all these varieties of dishes. Now, what is advisable is for you to reach out to all of these people, family and friends. Oh, we're having a get together. We want to break our fast together. So from everybody, and I know it happens, but then, it's better people make their own meals and then come share. So it suits their dietary needs. They don't just get to go there and then they don't have anything to eat, and then they're just sitting down looking, or at the end of the day, they just eat what is available, so you can check that and then make adjustments. And another way, one of the challenges is also adjustment to sleeping schedule. You have to wake up very early. I mean, a lot of times, which is regular, there's the 6 a.m. prayer that usually that happens even whether the fasting is involved or not. That is like the constant. That is how it is. But then, during this period, when you wake up, you're not just waking up to pray. Don't forget, you wake up, you make meal, you break your fast, and then still go back to sleep. And for some people, once you are awake, it's difficult. You can't go back to sleep because you know that you have a lot of things to do during the day. You have to go to work, you have to do this, you have errands, so you want to try and plan your day properly and all of that. So it's also a problem. Longer blocks of sleep are more beneficial than multiple short naps for getting sufficient rest. So even if you miss out on that moment, you have to always create time to rest. You have to always create time to sleep because the body needs it. Don't forget, there's not so much energy in the body. Maybe the first 10 days will be easy, but anything from 10 days, you start feeling it in your body because you are depriving your body of so many things. Even if you're eating afterwards, you know that you have to be very careful. You have to work less, you have to sleep well, you have to rest well. So you have to try sleep for at least 4 hours at night after iftar before waking up for suhoor, and return to sleep for a couple of hours before getting up for the day ahead. Waking up for suhoor and late night prayers can disrupt sleep pattern, leading to fatigue. So for the solution, you have to prioritize sleeping or sleep by taking short naps during the day if possible. Establish a bedtime routine that allows for relaxation before sleep, ensuring you make the most of the limited hours available for rest. Try to keep a consistent sleep schedule as much as possible. So you have to build a sleeping schedule. If you usually sleep late, you know that this is not the time for it because you need good sleep. If if for any reason you don't even sleep early, you have to also create time to take naps. Try your possible best, at least if you don't sleep at all, have 4 hours of sleep before your suhoor. And if time permits, if you're not able to do that, if you have time within the day, try and rest. Just try and sleep. You don't even have to sleep. Sometimes you just need this moment of concentration. You want to relax. Sometimes we are not even sleeping, but we just know that our body needs rest, and we just want silence. We want a quiet space, and you just want to lay down, close your eyes, and you're not sleeping, but then you are relaxing, you're meditating, you're allowing your brain to also rest. And at this same season, you also tend to crave for specific food. It's like, this is what I want to eat. It has to be this, it has to be this, it has to be this kind of food, it has to be this kind of protein. And then some of these cravings are not healthy, because these are not the time for it. This is the moment where you eat healthy, you eat balanced diet, you eat nutritious meals. Now during Ramadan, cravings for specific food, particularly sugary and fried items, are common due to psychological effects of fasting and the cultural significance of breaking the fast with comfort food. Now, cravings can intensify during fasting, making it harder to stick to healthy eating. And for the solution, you need to allow yourself to enjoy a small portion of food you crave for in moderation. Often cravings are driven by emotional or habitual factors. Associating healthy alternatives with the flavor you miss can also help, such as flavored water, baked snacks, or healthier version of a favorite dishes. And of course, lack of variety is also a challenge. Lack of variety in meals, especially during suhoor and iftar, can lead to nutrient deficiency, making meal less enjoyable and potentially impacting health. And for the challenges as well, repeating the same meal can lead to boredom and decrease motivation to maintain healthy eating habit. And for the solution, you need to plan a varied meal prep for suhoor and iftar throughout the month. Experiment with new recipes or cuisines and involve family members in meal preparation to create excitement. Create a meal calendar to inspire diverse and balanced meal. And last on my list is spiritual discomfort. Now, all of this, when it happens, it tends to give you discomfort, when it comes to the real thing. Now, feeling spiritually disconnected during Ramadan can happen due to various factors, including the physical and mental demands of fasting, difficulty maintaining routines, and balancing spiritual practice with daily responsibilities. Sometimes the focus on food can overshadow the spiritual aspect of Ramadan. So for the solution, set a specific spiritual goal, such as reading in a certain number of pages of the Quran daily or engaging in additional acts of worship. Allocate time for reflection, prayer, and community service to remind yourself of the purpose of Ramadan beyond the fasting. Now, by anticipating these challenges and implementing practical solutions, you can make your Ramadan experience more enriching and fulfilling, both spiritually and mentally. So we're going to be taking a stop here today, because we know that these are some of the common challenges we all face, and we're like, why not? Let's share it with all the individual, because it is the season, and I hope this helps. Thank you for your time with me on Launch Global Ramadan Special. I am Sadie, your host, Chunk, and Amel Joseph. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.